I'm wearing my jacket, but boss said I'm still too cold. Man, I fucked your bitch, she felt that from her head to toes. I need this guap, I couldn't care about my wrist and froze. Tryna hit that belly like home, and now your girlfriend wanna whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hello, guys, and welcome to Stay in Place, the podcast. We are back with episode 18. Joining me today is a familiar face, Hassan Ahmed. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, brother. How you doing? And it's good to be back on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm good as well, bro, man. Nice to see yourself. Just ticking over, bro. Obviously, it's been a month since the last episode was obviously recorded. And I thought, we need to come back with another episode. Obviously, since we've done that episode, obviously the Premier League season had ended. Obviously, we had the Champions League. Obviously, the transfer window is open now, so a lot of things to talk about. Let's just crack on and obviously talk about the Premier League and obviously summarize the whole season, I guess, in a short few words. Obviously, champions Manchester City, who had a tough game on the last day of the season, up against Aston Villa, who they obviously defeated 3-2. And obviously Liverpool, who are literally 1 point away, obviously putting a good performance in against Wolverhampton. But obviously City clinched it in the end. How did you see it? Obviously, were you nervous? Like, did you want Liverpool to win? Did you prefer Man City to win? Like, how did you see it all? Like, and which game was you watching? Was you watching both games?
Bro, what can I say? The Premier League season, what a roller coaster. Maybe not for United fans, but as a fan of the Premier League, we can say we probably haven't seen a Premier League finish like that in a while. Usually, what we usually have is like one team running away with 10, 15 points. But this one came very close to the wire. Only 1 point that separated two teams. I had both games on. I had one game, I had the Liverpool game and the Wolves on my laptop, and I had Villa versus City on the television. When I saw Villa went 2-0 up, I was scared. I was literally scared.
I thought it was over, man. I thought it was over.
That's what I thought. I was thinking, yep, this is done. It's finished. And then because I was praying, even though I'm a United fan, I wanted Man City to win, which I would admit, because when you look at it as a perspective, is that City are our biggest rival, but that rivalry we have against Liverpool is something that always stays with us, no matter what. So me, I didn't mind when City scored 2 and the first goal, I was like, all right, maybe it's coming back 2-2. I was like, oh my days, I couldn't believe it. And then when Gundogan scored, I will not lie, as a United fan, I screamed. I couldn't believe they did it. I was so happy because I think, if I'm correct, when Mo Salah scored and it was 2-1, and he tried to do the Aguero moment, and then I think there was one fan that went up to him and from the stadium said it's 2-1, and he made that face where he was about to cry. I found it hilarious. I was so happy when City won, even though I hate both clubs, but it's like if you have Liverpool winning it, it's more worse because they will never stop speaking about it. And the only time they ever did win the Premier League is the time when we were down in lockdown, so none of their fans couldn't see it. Could you imagine if their fans saw their team winning that Premier League live at Anfield? Yeah. We would never hear the same of it again. But I mean, Pep Guardiola does what Pep Guardiola does. That's why he's probably the best right now. People say Klopp, but for me, it's Guardiola all day long. He knows how to he doesn't panic. He knows what to do, what players need to come on, what players need to go off. The man is the best, the smartest guy when it comes to football. So all the City fans were probably panicking. I think he was cool as ice and he was ready. And he may have the feeling that he could potentially win it. And look what he did. He did win it at the end. So it's like, credit to Liverpool. They took City to the wire. But I'm happy with City winning it. I don't really mind because as a United fan is that I don't have many City fans, probably just one. Whereas the Liverpool fans, I have a lot of Liverpool fans. And if I saw them win the Premier League, I would never hear the ending of it. My whole summer would have been ruined. But for City, it's like there's no one here. So it's always good for City to win it.
Yeah. And going back to your point, obviously, about Pep Guardiola. I mean, credit, you got to give the man credit. Like, the guy's a genius. If you look back, obviously, post celebrations, when obviously was it Gary Neville and Micah Richards and Roy Keane, when they were obviously doing the post match interviews, obviously Jack Grealish was there and he was talking about obviously the transition from him obviously coming from Villa to Manchester City, and obviously the difference in training and in all aspects of football. Like, and he was just saying the guy's just, his man management is just extreme. He just turns you into a better player. Like, and yeah, the guy, he's won it apart from the Champions League. Well, at Manchester City, he's won it all. So yeah, credit is where credit is due.
Credit is where it's due.
Yeah, obviously Liverpool, they did their best, but obviously it was City who were proven champions on the day. But obviously another two games that obviously took place was obviously the Spurs game against Norwich and obviously the Arsenal game against Everton, which obviously were victories for the both of the North London clubs, but obviously it was Tottenham that obviously edged them to obviously finish in that fourth spot. So do you feel like they are well deserved, obviously top four club?
I mean, I would have loved it if United were in the top four, to be honest. But
Yeah,
I'm probably more happy that Spurs got over Arsenal. I think I may have said it on the podcast before. The difference between these two managers is football IQ and knowledge.
yeah,
Conte is a better manager than Arteta, and he knew what he was doing. He felt no pressure. This was credit to Arteta, but this was his first time him being in a top four race. So you feel like the pressure may have got to him and the players, because we have to remember the Arsenal team is a young team. There's not really much experience in that team, if we're being honest. But I feel like they still bottled it because they were talking about games in hand, but they still bottled it. Let's not take that away. But with Spurs, you knew that they have a manager who has a winning mentality. We're all known for Tottenham bottling it through like the final hurdle and everything. But it looks like for some reason now that Conte has come in, he's trying to remove that and bring a new culture into Tottenham. And look where it's got them, Champions League final. I mean, you can't really complain. I mean, before when they had Nuno, you didn't really think they would make top four, or even when Conte came in, because I think they were sitting 12th or 10th before that. And now look at the season's ended now. They finished top four basically. And now they're going to be playing Champions League football. And man, that's killing me right now, to be honest. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy that Tottenham got it. Hopefully, let's see what he does in the Champions League, and let's see what kind of players he'll probably buy for Tottenham. And let's see the mentality he brings next season for Tottenham as well. Arsenal, unlucky, credit where it's due, just falling off. The game against Everton, yes, they won 5-1, but there was no pressure in that game. For some reason, they fumbled the bag when there's pressure on a game, but when there's no pressure, they turn into tiki-taka Arsenal for some reason. And we saw it against Everton. They beat them 5-1. So
yeah.
I have no sympathy for Arsenal. I don't really care about Arsenal. Congratulations, Tottenham. Enjoy Champions League football.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with the points that you just made. They're all valid points. But obviously, on a personal scale, I feel like Arsenal maybe should have done better with obviously having no games in Europe during the midweek, and obviously just focusing on the Premier League, obviously coming out of the cup competitions in the early stages. So I feel like they had all their eggs in one basket, but yeah, it all comes down to experience at the end of the day. You can have youngsters, you can have young players, but you need experience in the dressing room. And obviously that's proven to not be the case for Arsenal. And obviously Tottenham on paper have a much better squad than obviously Arsenal. And obviously with the January transfer signing of Kulusevski, I feel like that might have obviously edged it more towards Tottenham, because obviously he's proven to have a good chemistry with obviously Son, and his link up play with Harry Kane has been extremely well. And obviously,
World class.
world class player. And obviously, like you had mentioned, obviously Tottenham. You never know how you never know. You just never know in football. And obviously, with the signing of Perisic and potentially right back, Spence coming in through the door, that might enable them to like maybe push on and maybe battle it out for maybe places in the top 2, top 3 next season. Who knows? But obviously, yeah, like you had mentioned, Conte, he is a very good manager. Obviously, people do say and have their opinions about him, whether he stays a season or 2 at a club, then moves on. But he has got a proven track record of obviously winning titles and delivering at the end of the day, which is what football fans want. And obviously with Tottenham Stadium, that is a stadium, and let's be honest, that is a stadium that deserves to be in the Champions League. And yeah, obviously moving on as well, our beloved club Manchester United, obviously just about securing Europa League place. Yeah, how did you see? Obviously, we were expecting to finish in a Europa League place, even though we had lost on the last day of the season. Obviously, West Ham had lost to Brighton, so that enabled us to obviously sit in a comfortable position in 7th. And obviously, talking about the Europa League, since obviously the last episode, Eric Ten Hag has had his first press conference. Did you have a look at that? Did you see anything about him? Did you see any strengths or weaknesses just from that press conference? And are you excited to see how this summer plans out with Manchester United?
Well, for us to even secure Europa League, you have to give a big shout out to Brighton Brighton. Because if you think about West Ham, were winning against Brighton and we were playing Conference League football nearly. Because remember, we lost to Palace and that was a disgraceful performance at the end of the season. You can just tell these players were not up for it, not fighting. I mean, you even had Eric Ten Hag in the stands watching, and you expect like some of these players to be playing. So Ten Hag knows that, all right, maybe I'll keep him for a season and see what he does. But these players, I don't know what's going on with these players. These men are bottlers. As much as I love Manchester United, but this season has absolutely killed me. I expected big things, if I'm being honest, as a United, but I expected, yeah, we were losing, we lost the Europa League, but then it felt like when we signed Sancho, Varane, you just felt there was like some kind of positivity vibes around Old Trafford, and you expected, but I don't know what has happened since then. It just feels like the players, the fans, the board, the managers, whoever come in, it's just all disconnected with each other. And it's just been a long, hard season, no matter what you look at it. When you lose a game, you can even tell the players, they don't even care really. They just wanted the season to be over straight away. I mean, I looked at Ten Hag's conference, and what I say is that I love how he presents himself. He's not here to make friends. He doesn't care about your Gary Nevilles, your Roy Keane, your Paul Scholes, your Rio Ferdinand. He's not here to make ex-friends. He's not here to follow the Ferguson way, even though people talk about Ferguson's way. He's here to do a project which is make Man United go back to where they belong. And what he's going to bring in is his own DNA, which I love. For me, he has to be backed in a way. This summer, the next transfer window, the next 2 years, he has to be backed. Give him what he wants, and you will see that the success he will bring to United. I have the most confidence in him. I'm not going to turn my back after one season on him because I have the expectation of him right now. There's no expectation. I don't think no United fan should have expectation on the first season, to be honest. What we lack is a style of play. So for me, Ten Hag has to bring a style of play in. And then, yeah, we can probably talk about trophies here and there. But first and foremost is a style of play, because you look at under Mourinho, Van Gaal, we were playing defensive. Oli was counter-attack football, which was so boring. Ranjik tried to bring something in, but it just didn't work with the players he had. So he had to even go back to being more defensive for some reason. So Ten Hag, I want to see high line. I want to see good passing, pressing, fighting for the badge, fighting for the fans at least, and a style of play that I can actually be proud of. Be saying yes, yes, we may have not won something under Ten Hag first season, but look where we're going as a club right now. We're doing well. He has brought in a style of play. There's a bit of positivity vibes right now. In terms of as well his press conference, I love. I don't know if you've seen it, but someone must have asked him about the Pep and Klopp era, and his reply was very simple. Every good era comes to an end. So
Yeah.
you know that he's coming in with fighting talk, which I love because he knows he ain't messing about. He ain't got time for the media. He ain't got time to hear opinions. Win, lose or draw, he's always going to go back to his office and think about the next game. It doesn't matter if we win. He's not going to go out there celebrating. He's in the office working 24/7 because he wants to take this project to the next level and show people what he can do. Because I think if we're being honest, I think there's been a lot of disrespect to Ten Hag. Because when we first appointed him, people were talking about Pochettino, or he can do this Premier League experience here and there. But for me, I love that we signed Ten Hag, and I'm just hoping and praying that this board back him because I think the Glazers even said that there was an interview when he was in America. They asked him, why did you hire Ten Hag? And then they said, oh, for the project, we believe in him. We're going to back him. So I want to see those words turn into actions, and let's see what he can do.
Yeah, and obviously, yes, with what you just literally just said, it's literally just spot on. And obviously, yeah, what I gathered from his press conference, what I took from that was that the guy does not take any bullshit. Like he's just literally, this is it. This is what's gonna happen. No. And literally, obviously, when reporters were asking him questions, he was just giving one-worded answers because that's just the man he is. He's not someone that's gonna just come and like sell you dreams and just lie to your face. He's just upfront, and that's what I like. And obviously, there was a video going around a couple of months ago. One of his players like talking back to him, and he was like, he was swearing at the player. He was like, "How dare you? Like, shush, you need to do this. Like when I tell you to do this, you need to do this." Like he's just a type of manager that Man United needs, because at the moment we have players that are just like are walking around the pitch, not really putting a shift in, and someone needs to come in and tell them what's what. Like they need to tell them to do this and to do that. And obviously, you mentioned in his style of play, if I'm being totally honest, that style of play is not going to be implemented unless he gets the right players in through that door. Because he can just get names for the sake of it, but if they're not able to play in a system that he deploys, then like what's the actual point of it? He needs players that are gonna come in and deliver for him, like that are gonna play for the badge. And I personally feel like players like De Jong, who's like been linked with the club, is a perfect player to play under obviously Ten Hag. So obviously the most important thing is to obviously bring in players that are going to obviously match that style of play and are going to play for the badge, not just going to come for a holiday and then going to take bonuses and huge amounts of money. They need to come in and, like I said, play for the badge and put a shift in every game. And obviously that's down to transfers and down to all of the work that's going on behind the scenes. And I personally believe he is someone that's like gonna sell the club to a player, that's gonna tell them his project and his philosophy. So that's gonna be the factor that's gonna make their decision even more easy, I guess. But obviously, mentioning transfers, obviously recently, Pogba, Lingard, Mata were obviously released from the club. Obviously, the club came out and said that they weren't going to extend their contracts when they're gonna obviously run out at the end of June. So obviously, we all saw that coming. Obviously, did you expect that to happen, or did you see maybe one or two of them signing on for a couple of more years, or did you just see that as just out the door, new team, new project? So obviously we need new players.
What I saw, I thought Pogba may have signed because we got Ten Hag in, and I thought maybe Ten Hag will speak to him about the project, but it looks like he's not signing, which is unfortunate because I think Pogba on his day is probably the best midfielder in the world, arguably. You can argue with whoever you want.
Yeah.
With Mata, Cavani, Lingard leaving, I'm like, yeah, they need to go because Cavani, Mata, they're getting old. Matic is gone old now, so it's like they're only, and they maybe a couple of them are not, but some of them are only here for the money they make at United. Whereas people like Lingard, who's been at the club for when he was a kid at the age of
Been
8,
there for
is
20 plus years.
20 plus years. It's sad to see the way it ended, but I mean, it's great. I mean, it's a good step for him in terms of his career because maybe he wants to get into that World Cup squad. For United, it had to be done because we're in a new phase now where we have to back our manager. And if he doesn't want these types of players, no matter if it's your Ronaldo, your Rashford, your Maguires, if he doesn't want any of these players, they have to leave as well. The only thing that's upsetting for me right now is that we had Pogba and Lingard who came through the academy and didn't even get a goodbye video. Whereas you had like Cavani, Mata, who had a goodbye video. Yes, you done good things for the club, but where's the respect from United in terms of your Lingard, your Pogbas who are at the club since the academies? Like they get a good and post here and there, a couple of good videos, but they don't get a video like what Mata got through. Like he was standing in the middle of the stadium saying goodbye. Cavani did an interview saying goodbye. Doesn't Lingard or Pogba deserve that? Yeah, they may have not performed as a United players, but they were there from the beginning in terms of coming from the academy, growing up, living in Manchester, knowing what Manchester United is about, knowing people like Ferguson, everyone like that, Ronaldo when he was at the time, but they don't get a goodbye, which I find weird because I don't know why United have done that, but I mean, there's nothing much you can do. They're leaving now. It's already been announced, so it's like you just deal with it and move on. But that's the only bit that just annoyed me. Whereas you give people like Cavani, Mata, Matic probably a goodbye message to say to United fans, but you don't want to give it to Lingard or Pogba for some reason.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, it was disappointing from that point of view. Obviously, they needed some type of recognition. Obviously, Pogba was vital, and obviously, I was winning the Europa League, and obviously Jesse scored the winner to obviously win us the FA Cup. But obviously, yeah, it was a club decision, and it was already made. So we obviously can't go back. We can't change things, but yeah, we just have to look forward and yeah, just see how this project plans out, and obviously how Eric Ten Hag can obviously turn things around, obviously at Old Trafford. But
Like
yeah,
you
enough.
said, new signings and sorry to
Yeah,
cut you off, but it's like
no worries.
the transfer windows are open, and it's like United are always slow with progress and everything. It's like
Yeah,
talk to the players, talk to the club is always slow. So I'm hoping they change it because everyone else is doing quick business. Like you said, Tottenham are doing quick business.
yeah.
Man City are doing quick business. They just bought in Haaland. Chelsea are going to start doing business soon. Arsenal will start doing business. United they need to pick up the pace a little bit and start this project before pre-season starts for us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well said. But yeah, obviously enough about the United talk. Obviously, quick more points before we move on. Obviously Burnley getting relegated, and Leeds obviously escaping on the final day of the season. Did you see that coming out? Personally, I was shocked that Burnley obviously got relegated, but they came out yesterday saying that they had released 14 first team players. So obviously, I feel like they're trying to rebuild their team and obviously come back into the Premier League soon. But yeah, did you see that happening? Did you see Leeds maybe going down instead of Burnley? Like what was your like obviously thoughts and feelings regarding that outcome?
I think I was surprised more like everyone else was, like Leeds staying up, only because Burnley's been in the Premier League for a long time, and I thought maybe that experience does help them in terms of staying up. But unfortunately, they didn't. I'm happy that Leeds stayed up because that's the Leeds guarantee United 6 points a season, home and away. So I mean, it's better for us to go to Ellen Road, than Turf Moor, if we're being honest right now.
Yeah,
But total surprise, to be honest. Like, I didn't even know that they'd released 14 players. That's so
yeah,
unexpected. But I mean, when you get relegated, you do lose a lot of big players, and it's maybe time to rebuild that team again. And hopefully they do that and try to come
yeah,
back in the Premier League. Well, happy for Leeds, because Leeds are a massive club, and I'm happy for them to stay up, even though they are our rival club. It's like it's nice to have a rival club that stays in the league for us. But I mean, good luck to Burnley in the Championship. Hope they do well. Um, it'll be interesting to see if they use youth, or are they going to be buying players, because they do have a new owner. So it'll be interesting to see how Burnley cope with it. And we knew that they were going to lose a lot of big players. Most clubs who do get relegated always lose a few big players here and there.
yeah. Obviously, yeah, very, very much looking forward to obviously the new season. Very excited to see how it plays out. See, obviously that was the summarization of the Premier League season. Quickly, swiftly moving on. Obviously, the Champions League final that took place, where obviously Real Madrid defeated Liverpool 1-0. Vinicius Junior goal. Did you see that game? What were your like feelings around that? And obviously, Courtois. I mean, what a performance!
I mean, what a performance from the whole team from Madrid, to be honest, because everyone was saying Liverpool are going to kill them, destroy them 4-0, 5-0. Some people were even predicting 6-7-0, to be honest. But it just shows you that Real Madrid, whether you hate them or love them, they are the kings of finals and the kings of Champions League. They know how to win these type of games. Yeah, they can be scrapey 1-0, 2-0, whatever. But in a final, it's a one-off game. You got to take your chances in a one-off game. There's no second leg, we have to remember.
Yeah,
Kill the game within 90 minutes. And that's what Madrid do. They killed the game. They killed the game in 90 minutes. Yes, you can talk about them having luck here and there, but you got to look at the route they had to get to the Champions League final. PSG, Chelsea, City, three big teams in Europe, and they not destroyed, but beaten all three of those teams and coming back to beat them, if we're being honest. So I think they deserve it. It's probably, you could potentially say, one of the best runs in the Champions League to win the Champions League, if we're being honest. Liverpool, you look at Liverpool, they had an easy run, let's be honest. Inter Milan, I think, Benfica, Villarreal, like that was an easy run to get to the final. But for some reason, they got to the final. They had a lot of chances, for being honest. They were
yeah,
shooting, I think, first half, I think it was like 6 shots in targets and 4 that was on target. They were killing it. But at the end of the day, football is a 90-minute game, and all you need is one chance to win it. And Madrid, that ball from Valverde, what a ball that was. And Vinny to finish it off. The guy is playing with so much confidence in that Madrid team. He's playing. You look at that Madrid team, they all play for each other. They all play for a manager they love so much. And it was great to see Ancelotti to win it. I think he's the first ever manager to win it 5 times in a row. Well,
yeah,
sorry, 5 times the Champions League. So it's great to see that as well. I mean, unlucky Liverpool, but you got to do what you got to do in the final. Like Tony Cruz said, it's the final and you got to
yeah.
kill it.
Obviously, congratulations to Real Madrid. Obviously, yeah, they have won it like numerous times now. But obviously, yeah, Vinicius was the man on the day who obviously put the ball in the back of the net. But yeah, swiftly moving on. Obviously, another game or two that took place obviously was the Europa League final between Frankfurt and Rangers, and then obviously the Conference League final, which is obviously between Roma and Feyenoord. Obviously, did you see those games? Obviously, Rangers just narrowly missing out through penalties to Frankfurt, and obviously Roma and Mourinho yet again winning another trophy.
Yeah, it was so unlucky. I'm going to start off with the Rangers and Frankfurt game. It was so unlucky for Rangers. I genuinely believed they were actually going to win it, if I'm being honest. But it just shows you what football can do to you. It's crazy. I mean, I think all their teams scored all the penalties, but it had to be an ex-Arsenal player to miss a penalty. So
Yeah,
it's so, and we must not forget that this Arsenal player Ramsey was on loan. So for him, he might care, he might have not, because he was going back to Juventus anyway. But it was so hard for Rangers to swallow that, to be honest, because I think everyone from the UK, even people like from Celtic, they were supporting Rangers to bring the Europa League back, because it would have been a big statement for the Scottish League to have Rangers be the Europa League champions. It's a massive step, but it's football at the end of the day. You lose, you win, you win. You just got to move on. But credit to Frankfurt, you have to give it to them. Played well in the final. Probably was the favourites to win it, if we're being honest. But supporting Rangers the whole way through. Unlucky for them. Maybe if they're back in it next year, they go again. We never know. They got a good team, a good manager. So let's hopefully they try to build on that Champions League the Europa League final, and then try actually now win the Europa League next season if they can. Going on to Mourinho. I mean it's Mourinho, man. He does what he does. I think he's the next manager after Ancelotti to win 5 European Cups or something like that. I mean, he won it with I think he won it with Porto twice, United once, Europa League, Inter Milan, and now Roma. Yeah,
The
we
man has
might.
just won everything in football, literally. Obviously, the only thing that he's missing is a national team role, and that will literally complete the set. But the man is just wow.
I mean, it's Mourinho, man, the Portuguese magician. What do you expect? People, you can hate on him, you can say this and that, or Mourinho has lost there, but you can't doubt a man who is guaranteed to win a trophy in his first season, any club he goes to. A man who wins trophies. His CV is built differently. People need to understand that. Yeah, the Conference League is not as big as everyone makes out to seem, but at the end of the day, a trophy is a trophy. You can't deny that. We have people who win the Community Shield here. They count that as a trophy. So why can't you count Conference League trophy? And look what it means to the Roma fans. I don't know how long it's been for them since they won a trophy, but you can see what it means to them. They were bouncing, they were shouting, they were screaming players' name. I mean, credit to Mourinho. He's done wonders over there. I can see why people in Roma love him.
Yeah, the man is he's just delivered yet again. Well, obviously, yeah. Moving on. Obviously, last but not least, the Championship playoff final between obviously Huddersfield and Nottingham Forest, which obviously was the last opportunity for one of those clubs to obviously enter the Premier League. And obviously, Nottingham Forest were clear winners on the day. Did you have a look at that game, and are you excited about maybe Nottingham Forest being obviously a new club in the Premier League, a new test, a new stadium, a new set of players to look forward to?
Yeah, I had a look at that game. One thing I would say, who was the man that assisted that goal? James Garner. That's the guy who assisted Nottingham Forest to be back in the Premier League. But yeah, congratulations to Nottingham Forest. I'm happy that Nottingham Forest won, because if you look at the team that was Fulham, Bournemouth, they've already been in the Premier League. And could you imagine Huddersfield as well being in there? It's like all 3 of those teams have been in the Premier League. But it's always nice to see someone new. And Nottingham Forest, it's been a long while since they've been in the Premier League. And
Yeah.
I mean, we can't underestimate them. Look at the run they had in the FA Cup. They've beaten some big Premier League clubs. Arsenal, Leicester's, your Tottenham's. I think they beat Tottenham as well. I'm not too sure. But it'll be great to see Nottingham Forest. I mean, any team that goes away to Nottingham Forest, the atmosphere is going to be bouncing. You can see when Leeds got promoted, they were bouncing whoever came in. Nottingham Forest is going to, you could probably say, it might be 10 times better than that. When United go there, City, Arsenal, the fans are going to be up for it. And I think the most important thing for Nottingham Forest is keeping those big star players they have. Yeah, they may not be big star players to people like us, because we don't support them, but for them, they have to keep a hold of the big players they had who helped them get to the Premier League. And if that means keeping Garner for another year on loan, I'm happy to do that, unless he's part of Ten Hag's plan. But yeah, for them, it's just signing the right players, the hungry players, and see what they can do in the Premier League. Hopefully they do well. Like we had Sheffield United finish 7th. Brentford, who just finished in a good season. So hopefully Nottingham Forest can do that as well. And let's see what it brings. All we got to say is Premier League, new season, new start. We're coming in August. I hope
Yeah.
everyone's ready for that.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, big shout out to James Garner, who obviously deserves a spot in his pre-season tour. But yeah, obviously, just before we wrap up, quick mention to Karim Benzema, obviously, who deserves the Ballon d'Or. Let's be honest. The man has just done everything this season that you literally would want from a striker. But obviously, yeah, transfers that was obviously been taking place as well. A couple hours ago, obviously Nunes being official that he's going to join Liverpool. Obviously, the French youngster that obviously has joined Real Madrid. But in terms of transfer segment, we will aim to possibly come back with a transfer show in a couple of maybe weeks or in a month's time to obviously talk about transfers and moves that have been happening. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you honestly for watching. Thank you to Hassan yet again. You're a star of the show. Obviously your opinions count. And obviously, yeah, we're looking forward to the new season. We're gonna be back even better with brand new shows. Yeah, just keep supporting the podcast. Please like, comment, subscribe, and just do the usual, just share. And yeah, we're out. Peace.
Thank you, guys.
I'm wearing my jacket, but boss said I'm still too cold. Man, I fucked your bitch, she filled that from her head to toes. I need this guap,